I hope you all had a good year. I hope everyone's healthy, and just wanted to share this principle that I find useful, getting rid of lazy hand syndrome and pretty much doing hammer-ons backward, as opposed to simply doing hammer-ons in a ascending fashion. So usually we do hammer-ons, of course, in an ascending pattern. We kind of start with a lower note and move to a higher note. And that's very typical. All of us, I don't think there's any guitarist that did not learn to do this at the offset of their lead guitar or electric guitar journey. Most of us learned this type of stuff. So usually someone would do pull-offs. If you look at a sequence like right, we're all used to pull-offs. Hammer-ons and pull-offs are part of the vocab of any electric or lead guitarist. And so doing backwards hammer-ons as opposed to pull-offs, I think has some value, simply because your hand is forced to not only clench in this kind of a way, but also in a backward fashion then. So your hand has this backward motion that requires equal strength as it would require for your hand to do it ascending. Right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to literally, in the same way that I hammer on here, I'm trying to hammer it backwards, equally as pronounced and clear and strength of notation, because it's easier to have strong notes this way. You've got a lot of clout this way. So how about developing clout in the opposite direction equally as strong? Now there's a lot of little mechanics that come into play when you do this kind of thing, because your pinky is kind of your anchor finger, whereas with the ascending pattern your index finger would usually be the anchor point. So you've got a kind of a firm grip there, but now you've got this kind of thumb span wherever your thumb is, and then your pinky, which is further. So it's interesting, these little mechanical differences and things that we have to deal with as we move around on the neck. So right? So I think it's a good challenge to try and hammer on backwards as nimbly and as strongly as you do ascending. And so I've chosen to use this pattern in the offset of the video, that little piece there, simply because it encapsulates some of the span of the neck. I mean, if you're in these tiny little fret spaces, obviously it's a little bit harder. If you go from fret 15 always sounds cool when you play the high frets. But so if you're in these high frets, then it becomes harder, because now you've got a cramped little space that your hand has to perform well in. And I think most of us probably play well in this kind of a zone on the neck, because these are the easier frets. So yeah, that was messy. Anyway, so right, so all these little things help to align your hand and position and train your hand and make your hand a bit more responsive to what's going on the fretboard. Of course, you can do this with scales, or simply take a chromatic scale like the C chromatic, where you start on C on fret 8, which would be the same as right until you run out of frets, and that's a chromatic scale, just consecutive semitones. So what if you were to kind of approach it from this angle, and let's say we do something like this. Right, so using hammer-ons for everything, no pull-offs, everything are hammer-ons. So I'm going to go from G, and of course this little noise inhibitor just helps so that my strings don't ring out and I don't nick other strings while I'm busy with a clean sequence. Just cleans up the tone a bit. So you go like this. Right, so especially those backward ones. You can pantomime it, where you just literally I don't know about you, but the middle muscles of my hand tend to start clenching up or clamping up. If I continue too long with the backward hammer-ons, this middle part of my hand becomes the issue for me. Yours might be different, your situation might be different, but it's a great way to get your hand almost like your finger separation to deal with that, to sort that out. So I hope you find this useful. I hope that it's a good method for you. As lead guitarists and as electric guitarists, we have a obligation to play clear notes, and of course no one wants to play sloppy notes where you just kind of give one of the notes or several of the notes in the sequence like half a thought and then move to the next one. You want to make sure that you pronounce your notes. So on and so forth. So you can come up with your own sequences. There's a whole bunch. I mean, there's 22 to 24 frets depending on what guitar you have. So yeah, you can just go for it. But I hope you all have a great holiday season, and may the Lord bless you and your families, and may we all obey His gospel.